Right. Good morning. Good morning. This is Dr. G. So, in this video, I want to talk about how to become an entrepreneur. All right. So, tell you a story. Um, Simple story, but I remember I was a bartender and server in a restaurant before medical school. Before residency, and I was trying to find ways to make income, but thing about being an entrepreneur is that a lot of times we're scared. You're scared. You're like, well, I don't feel like a business person. I have a job. Do I quit my job and start a business? Am I gonna quit my job and start a business? Do I get a side hustle? Um, like, what do I do? Like, yeah, I know I have to hustle. Yeah, I know I have to um, work hard. They say no sleep. I gotta grind, grind, grind. Like, what business will I do? Like what can I do? Well, for me, um, I noticed that I was good at writing. Okay, um, and I happened to be working in a restaurant. And I worked with some people who were in college, and I remember one time somebody told me somebody was complaining about a paper that they had to do, and just randomly I said, "Shit, I'll do it, $60." And she was like, "All right." Did the paper, got an A on it for her. She was like, "That's the best money she's ever spent, best $60 she's ever spent." And that one person told somebody else, word of mouth. Somebody else at the restaurant was like, "Oh, I heard you do papers." I said, "Yeah." "Okay, well, I got a paper coming up." Did a paper for him, got 80 for that. Got a good grade on that. Did another paper for him, paid me 100. Another paper after that, it was 150. And he kept coming back. And all of a sudden, it was just like I couldn't stop making money. I was working extra shifts, but then I also had this extra income because people asked me to write papers, and I did it, and I was really good at it. Now that was something small, but the point is that two things happen. First thing is I offered to do something for somebody that they didn't want to do. Second thing is it was actually something that I like to do, something that I like to do, something that I was good at. Those are two things. Those are two things. So number one, finding out what you like to do and who you can do it for. I didn't need a building. I didn't need capital. I didn't need a LLC. I didn't need a business account. I had to offer a service, and that service was something that I like to do. Okay. So the first thing is finding out what you like to do. Second thing is figuring out who you're gonna do it for and how much you're gonna charge. Those are really the two things. You don't have to think about, well, maybe you have to think about product costs, but the first thing you need to do, which is more important than any of these things, because knowing this last skill will help you with anything. Even if you don't have a job, you will always have a job with this third skill, this third thing, which is a skill. So we talked about knowing what you want to do. It's number one. Knowing who you're going to do it for and offering to do it to them. And then the third thing is knowing how to sell. If you know how to sell, which should probably be number one, if you know how to sell, you will always have a job. And you'll know how to keep that business going always. Selling is a skill you have to learn. When you think about people that have businesses and all of a sudden they don't have it anymore, No matter what they tell you, they can tell you, oh well, the market's bad, or people stop paying, or people stop needing their car washed. People stop needing this, that. No, it's all because that person or that business stopped knowing how to sell. The businesses that thrive throughout the economy economic crashes. Um, I'm tired. Excuse my stuttering. But the businesses that survived the economic collapses, those were businesses that knew how to sell. Knowing how to sell is crucial. There's no economy if there are no salespeople. So, number one, knowing what skill you have, what you like to do. Number two, knowing who you're going to do that for and offering that skill to them. And finding out the people that don't want to do what you can do, finding people that don't want to do that, who rather pay you. So, number one, finding out what you like to do. Number two, finding who you're going to do it for and offering to do it for them. Number three, knowing how to sell. If you can do those three things, you will do fine. Now, in knowing how to sell, you have to know how to communicate with people. Um, all the money you ever want comes from somebody else. Money's just paper, but you get that paper from people. Walmart is a $1 billion company because of the people that come in there every day because Walmart offers a service. Walmart offers a space with multiple vendors all in that one space where people just come and shop. That's it. Walmart, all it does is have a building. It has different vendors, different companies. It tracks the sale of those vendors, and they make great value products, so off-brand products. So Walmart is like a Amazon with, it works just like Amazon. So it's a marketplace, and it has people, customers come in. Now those customers aren't rich. They're not rich a lot of times. Just regular people work regular jobs that are willing to take their hard-earned dollar and go and give it to Walmart. That's it. You don't have to be around a lot of people with a lot of money, depending on whatever your business is, but you do have to have people. You do have to offer a service or a product. You could sell, you could sell, you sell gloves. You sell latex gloves, right? So the question is like, who am I going to sell this glove to? Who needs these gloves? Okay, healthcare workers. Where am I going to get the gloves from? Um, now, okay, so I have this. I have these gloves. Well, the hospital has a lot of gloves, so maybe they don't need any more. Okay, well, who else needs gloves? Like, who would need this? Like, is it somebody that works out in the sanitation industry, or is it somebody um, that cleans? Um, is it a maid? Is it you know? Um, Maybe instead of her going to the store to buy gloves, you can have gloves and you can go find the services, the janitorial services or the maid services, and you take your gloves that you have and then see what the competitor is selling it for, and then you go and sell those gloves. Because a lot of time in business, you may not be able to advertise, but what you can do is you can go and find your clientele. You can go and find your clientele on your own. Like when you don't have money, what do you have? You have time. You have time, you have energy, you have creativity. Using all those, you can outperform a lot of times when the competitor has has a advertising budget. You don't, but you have to do that starting out. Nobody starts out. Most people, most businesses don't start out with a lot of money, and that's all right. But what can you do now? When I had my business, when I was doing papers, it just started. I mean, I didn't have a print shop. I didn't have an office. I didn't have a brick and mortar building. It was just me, my skills, my creativity, a way to make money. Now, eventually, I scaled that business, but that's a different story. Um, but yeah, that's what it is. That's the simple form of making a business. Um, and if you read certain books, they could say self-employed, but and it's not a real business unless you have people working for you. We can say that, but the first step is being a business owner, finding out what you're good at or what you want to be good at, learning that skill, finding out what you want to do. Number two, finding out who you want to do that for and approaching them and offering to do that for them for a price. And number three, knowing how to sell. And selling goes into your offer and how you're going to sell that. Biggest thing to sell is, and I'll make another video on this, is finding out what people want. Finding out what people need and seeing what they need, relating to them, and doing it for them. Or find a demand. It's easy if you find somebody that wants water. If it's hot outside and you know people working outside in the sun and it's hot, go get a 24 pack bottle of Pure Life Nestle water. Put it in the refrigerator or in a cooler. Put it in the cooler. Get some ice. Drive your car to that place. Sell each of those bottles of water for $1. With that, you just made $24 when the whole case only costs $4. Plus the ice, but you can use that. I mean, the ice in the cooler, but you can use the ice in the cooler over and over and over again. So you'll make that investment up. You'll make up for that investment in no time. Just get you some water, get you a cooler, get you some ice, and carry that around. That's a business. You don't have to be on the New York Stock Exchange to be a business. Finding a way to make money by yourself that can sustain you. And it doesn't have to sustain you starting out, but finding a way to make money on your own, that's a business in the simplest form. If you can get customers and you can sell and you can bring in income, you therefore are an entrepreneur. If you're a profitable entrepreneur, that's a different story. But by doing those things, those three things, right? What did I say? Number one, finding out what you want to do. Okay, find out what you're good at, what or want to be good at. What do you want to do? Number one. Number two, finding out who you're gonna do that for and making an offer. Number three, knowing how to sell. Sell during good times, during bad times, knowing how to sell. You are a business owner. You are an entrepreneur. All right. Um, that's my thoughts on that. This is Dr. G signing out. Good night.